1. The Selfish Woodcutter. Initial task. How will you make the people aware about not cutting the trees and make the environment clean and pollution free? Do you know that trees also feel pain when these are being cut down? We should not cut the trees. These are very useful for environment, animals, and human beings. Read the story of a woodcutter and the trees, which helped the woodcutter, but they faced merciless behavior of the woodcutter. There was a woodcutter. He was very poor and lived in a hut which was made up of mud. His hut was on a hill. He was so poor that sometimes he couldn't manage his 2 times meal in a day, and he slept hungry. One day he thought, if I cut down a big tree, I will make my new hut with wood, and it would be better for me. He needed a sharp axe for that, which he did not have. Although the woodcutter had an axe, it was without a handle, and he couldn't buy new one. One day, the woodcutter reached the top of the hill. There were a lot of trees on the hill. Old trees, young trees, small trees, big trees, etc. The woodcutter asked those trees, "Can I take a tree away from this hill? I am very poor. Please do allow me to take very small one." The trees were silent. They didn't reply at all. He asked again, "I need one. Please allow me to take only one." After consulting all together, they decided to give him a small one. A big and old tree said, "If we give him a small one, he will be satisfied and won't bother us in future. We will be safe then." The big tree said, "We are giving you a small tree. Go along with it and never come here again." The woodcutter was very happy and took the tree to his hut. After reaching home, first he cut the tree and made a handle for his axe. Then he whetted the axe and made it very sharp. Now the axe was ready to chop the big trees. Now he was happy to see that his axe was in a proper working order. The woodcutter forgot his promise and decided to cut big trees for making his new house. He thought, "Now I will have a strong and big house. The day has come that I will have all the comforts for me in my new house." He put his axe on his shoulder and started moving towards the hill. On the way, he was thinking about his new house, saying, "Without handle, I couldn't cut trees till today. Now my axe can cut as many trees I want. I will cut whole day, and in the evening I will bring those to my house." Thinking all this, he reached on top of the hill, where all the trees were standing happily in a row. When the trees saw the woodcutter with a sharpened new axe, they were all frightened. The trees said, "What? What will you do now? Are you going to cut down us? Please don't do this. Have pity on us. We are happily standing here." But the woodcutter was not listening to any voice. He picked his new axe and started cutting the trees. The trees were in a big pain, crying and shouting continuously. Please don't do this! Save us! Someone please save us! The woodcutter was busy with his work. He was cutting down big trees one after another. Looking at this, a very old and big tree said, if we had not given the small tree to this woodcutter, he would have never made a handle for his axe and wouldn't have felled us thus. But it is too late now. Vocabulary: satisfied, pleased, bothered, taking the trouble to do something, whetted, sharpened the blade of, frightened, afraid, pity, sympathy. Grammatical structure. Sentence. A group of words that make a complete sense is called a sentence. Important points about a sentence. A sentence always begins with a capital letter and usually ends with a full stop. The words in a sentence are placed in their proper order. For example, green vegetables are good for health. Arrange the following jumbled words in correct order to make sentences. Conversational skills. Speak up about the things that trees give us. Which of the things do you like the most? Give a small speech about it in the class. Let's listen. Listen to the instructions of your teacher and color the pictures.